Week number 6 of the college football season coming to a close today. A lot of interesting subplots on today's card. For example, Washington coming off that upset in revenge at home against Stanford 2 Thursdays ago. Well, today the Huskies find themselves catching 24 points at Oregon. You may think that sounds like a lot of points, but you have to ask yourself, which team are you going to get for Oregon? The team that absolutely obliterated Arizona 49-0 in their best home performance of the season, or the Oregon Ducks team that is consistently taking its foot off the accelerator after the first half of games, contributing to its awful point spread record as a big favorite. Then, for example, Stanford. Well, the Cardinals are coming back to Palo Alto, still licking their chops after getting upset at Washington. Of course, the last time they played at home, they were the 9.5-point dog against USC, and they won that game outright. Which Stanford team are you getting? The team that lost at home in its season opener, failed to cover in its season opener at home against San Jose State, beating the Spartans by just 3 points, or the team that dominated defensively against the Trojans? Because today, Stanford's laying around 9 or so to Arizona. And as I mentioned about Arizona, this is a team in its only road game this season got destroyed in Eugene by the Oregon Ducks 49-0, and then fell at home 38-35 to Oregon State last week. How about Georgia coming off that shootout against Tennessee where the Bulldogs blew the early lead before coming back for the win? Now, they're getting a point, maybe a point and a half at South Carolina. And, of course, the Gamecocks have owned the series of late, winning between the Hedges and Athens last year, 45-42. How about Texas, a team that I gave you as a free pick last week in double revenge, delivering in dramatic fashion in the closing minute in Stillwater, beating Oklahoma State? Well, now the Longhorns are back home in Austin, laying 7 today against West Virginia. And you know what Geno Smith and the Mountaineers did last week against Baylor. But you also saw how poorly the West Virginia defense consistently played in that game as well, and how Texas can put points on the board this year. Because as I told you last week, they've got a strong ground game, and David Ash has suddenly developed into a top-notch quarterback, really making this Longhorns team pretty damn tough to stop defensively. How about Nebraska coming off the rally by 17 points down in Lincoln last Saturday to defeat Wisconsin? Did the Cornhuskers have anything left when they're getting 3.5 today at Ohio State? Buckeyes, of course, go onto the road for the first time in the Urban Meyer era, upset Michigan State last week. Now they're back home where they're 4-0 straight up this season, but let's face it, most of those home wins have been lackluster performances as well. Those are some of the things to consider on this Saturday card. Hi, everyone, Al DeMarco here, and in just a moment, I've got 3 free picks for you. 2, believe it or not, in one of my all-time favorite conferences, as I say that sarcastically, the MAC, the Mid-American Conference, and then also a non-conference tilt as well, as I want to take a look at your an SEC game between Texas A&M and Ole Miss. That's coming up in just a moment, plus a money-saving discount coupon code that could save you hundreds of dollars off your total purchase today. Quick reminder right here at the top of the report, however, guys, remember, the free Fantasy Football League contest. You see the ads right here on the site. Enter it. It's free. $300 goes to the first place winner. $500 in total prizes. Top 5 finish in the money. It's the most lucrative contest we've ever had here. We started it last week. We're going to do it again this week. $300 to the first place winner, $100 to the second place winner, $50 to the third place winner. Top 5 finish in the money, free to enter. You've got till 1 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday to finalize your rosters. Take my advice, guys. You're playing against me and the other guys here at the site. Go ahead, put together your rosters today, and then make your last-minute changes tomorrow. It's run in conjunction with DraftStreet.com. It's free to enter. Enter it every single week, guys. It's my money, which you've been winning a hell of a lot of lately, let me tell you, because I finished 8th in week number 1, and we don't even want to talk about how embarrassing I've been the last couple of weeks in this league. And remember, unlike your father's fantasy football league, this contest is over after the Monday night game. Yes, it's over after the Monday night game between the Texans and the Jets. Settle up is Tuesday, so check it out. Enter it for free right here on the site. Got to talk about a couple of red-hot handicappers, guys, and no pun intended. Anthony Redd today has the biggest play ever he's ever had in college football. Let me just paint the picture here for you guys. You know, Anthony joined the site back in 2009. He's been a professional gambler for 15 years now in Las Vegas. So the plays you are getting are the same plays that he is playing on a daily basis. Today, he has his first ever 150 dime play in any sport. Naturally, it's the biggest play he's ever had in college football. And let me put this in perspective for you. The past 2 Saturdays, he's had 75 dime winners in college football, both of them coming in the ACC. Last week, it was Duke outright over Wake Forest, and 2 Saturdays ago, it was Clemson plus the points against Florida State, and he won them both. Today's play is twice as strong. Remember that 100-dimer that he kicked off the college season with? Cincinnati blowing out Pittsburgh in the Thursday night game? This play is 50% stronger. Hell, this play is almost 4 times bigger than last night's 40-dime winner on Utah State. Once again, first ever 150 dime play of his career in any sport. It goes today, and you know Anthony, he believes that you make the most money by leaning toward the dogs that have teeth that can bark in Vegas, and also with underpriced favorites. He's found a dog on today's card, which he wouldn't be surprised if this puppy wins outright. That's how strong he feels this play is. Trace Adams, normally a 1,000-star play, like the one he hit last night with Utah State, is his top-rated play. Often he has those 1,500-star lead pipe locks on Thursday night, of which I think he's 43-24 with those plays, going back to 2007. But today, he has his double your wager winner, 2,000-star winner, number 3 in a row. Twice as strong as Utah State last night, his highest rated play. 2000 winner number 1 was Rutgers 2 Saturdays ago, plus 9 outright at Arkansas. Winner number 2 was Louisiana Tech, laying the points, winning at Virginia last week. 49 games on tap today, as he says. This is the one game to unload on. 2,000-star double your wager winner, number 3 in a row, going from Trace Adams today. And also 2 other handicappers I want to quickly make mention of. Scott Delaney, last Saturday, had his 100-dime conference blowout of the year, his highest rated play. He said his team would win by at least 3 touchdowns. And then he delivered with Air Force over Colorado State by 3 touchdowns. They won by 21 points. Today, he has his 100-dime conference blowout of the year winner, number 2 in a row. And in all sports combined over the past 2 years, this is his 100-dime winner, number 22 out of 32 overall. And the last guy I want to mention, because you know who he is, Craig Davis. He has another one of those 50-dime plays, guys. 50-dime winner, number 18 out of 23 overall, and number 6 out of 7. It's another teaser. And it's also his teaser winner, number 5 out of 7. So those are among some of the hot handicappers you should be checking out today. Let me give you my money-saving discount coupon code here today, guys, before I go any further, and then I'll get to your free picks. Listen, you can save 20% off your total purchase today simply by using this coupon code, COLLEGE6. It's the 6th week of the college football season. So, COLLEGE6, C-O-L-L-E-G-E. And the number 6, no space between college and the number 6. College 6 will save you 20% off your total purchase price. Now, the beautiful thing about this coupon, if you happen to be a newcomer to the site, it's a mix and match type of coupon. Guys, for example, if you want to ride and pick up Anthony Redd's play today, you can save almost, let's do the quick math, almost $19 off the purchase of Anthony Redd's play today. But at the same time, you could also get Trace Adams, 2,000-star double your wager winner, number 3 in a row today, and save almost $16 off of that. That's the type of discount you get. It's off your total purchase price. But it's a mix and match coupon in this aspect. You could buy individual handicappers plays, but then you can also go in and buy a long-term package as well and save 20% off of that total purchase. So, for example, Scott Delaney, who has his big 100-dime play going today. Let's say you wanted to make a 30-day commitment to Scott Delaney. His price is $349. Guys, you would take $70 almost right off the top. Mix and match, the only stipulation, guys, you have to put everything in your shopping cart at one time. You can't come in and buy Trace Adams' play and then 2 hours later come in and buy Anthony Redd's play and 3 hours later come in and buy Scott Delaney's play. No, put everything in your shopping cart at one time. Enter that coupon code, COLLEGE6, C-O-L-L-E-G-E, and the number 6, and that will save you 20% off your total purchase price here at the site. Okay, let's get to your free picks, guys. I've got 3 of them here today. I'm going to go in reverse chronological order in case you're catching this video report later in the day. First one, I'm going to go with Texas A&M, laying the 11 points against Mississippi. It kicks off at 7 o'clock Eastern time. You know, since opening with that 20-17 loss to Florida, A&M has won and covered 3 in a row. Hammered SMU 48-3, beat up a nobody, a cupcake, South Carolina State 70-14, and rolled over Arkansas last Saturday 58-10. Now, listen, you know, this is the last gimme game, I want to say, for Texas A&M here for a few weeks, because next week they go to Louisiana Tech, and that ain't no simple place to win in Louisiana. And then, they host LSU the week after that. As for Ole Miss, they played well in a 33-14 loss to Alabama in Tuscaloosa, holding the Tide to 6 points in the second half. But hey, a loss is a loss. They've lost 15 consecutive games straight up in the SEC. Their wins this season have come against Central Arkansas, UTEP, and Tulane. The week before losing to Alabama, they were on a bye, but before that, they got hammered by Texas in Oxford, Mississippi, 66-31. And I'm telling you guys, the game wasn't that close. It was much, much worse than that 35-point margin. The key to Texas A&M, I don't know if you've had the chance to see this guy yet, the redshirt freshman quarterback, Johnny Manziel, highly touted when he came out of high school. This guy has been amazing for them. 70% completions, 10 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, running that spread attack the Aggies are using. He also leads the team in rushing with 366 yards and 6 TDs as well. Manziel last week against Arkansas, 453 yards passing, 557 yards of total offense in that game. And 4 touchdown passes. This Texas A&M defense, don't overlook that either. 16 sacks already this season through 4 games, and Ole Miss has some big-time quarterback issues. Maybe rotating quarterbacks, maybe switching quarterbacks this week, coming into this game. Again, I think you got to lay the points with Texas A&M in this contest as the Aggies continue to roll offensively. Your next play, I'm going to go with Miami of Ohio, plus the 20 points at Cincinnati. Now, listen, it's going to be a sellout at Nippert Stadium. I think the first sellout at Nippert since maybe the 2009 season. I know Cincinnati is undefeated this year. I backed them, in fact, in their opener against Pittsburgh at home. It was like a big blowout win, 34-10, I think it was. They were laying 5.5 in that contest. But how many times have I told you, one of the key factors in handicapping college football, you've got to look for letdown situations, and Cincinnati is in a prime letdown. I know this is somewhat of a rivalry game because of the natural location of these two teams, the closeness, the proximity to each other. But the problem is Cincinnati last week blew a lead against Virginia Tech. The game was played in Landover, Maryland at FedEx Field. They blew the lead in that game and then managed to come back and win the game on a touchdown pass with like 11 or 13 seconds left. Natural letdown spot here today. It's not that Miami of Ohio is any good, especially defensively. I mean, listen, the Redhawks did win at Akron last week, 56-49. Miami of Ohio, Akron, Cincinnati. You get what I mean? That's why they're in the MAC, and Cincinnati, for the time being, is in what we now know, or maybe not know for much longer, as the Big East. Against Akron last week, Miami of Ohio had 624 yards in total offense, setting a MAC record, in fact. Zach Dysert, their quarterback, is a dual-threat quarterback. He passed for 510 yards in that contest, ran for 109 yards in that contest, had 6 touchdowns in that one. And they're 2 step-up games this year. And when I say step-up game, when they stepped out of their conference and took on big-time foes, they got drilled, losing by 46 points at Ohio State and losing 39-12 at Boise State. They're last in the MAC in total defense, allowing 517 yards a game. They're last in rushing offense, barely managing 112 yards a game. So, if Dysert doesn't have a big game, they've got no chance. But again, I've got to question the intensity level for Cincinnati today. Will the Bearcats be that focused on the game after maybe perhaps still celebrating last week's last-second win against Virginia Tech? So even though Cincinnati has won 6 in a row straight up in the series, even though 5 of those wins have been by 24 points or more, even though they won last year 27-0, even though they've covered 7 of their last 9 games, do I have to go any further? I still think Miami of Ohio plus the points is a decent play in this contest. The other Mid-American Conference game is going to be Northern Illinois minus the 2.5 points at Ball State. You can expect plenty of scoring in Muncie, Indiana today. NIU comes in here with the number 2 MAC offense in terms of total offense, averaging 477 yards a game. Meanwhile, Ball State is number 3 in the conference in scoring, averaging 35 points a game. Cardinals, however, also allow 37.8 points a game and 486 yards a game. In other words, they don't play any defense. You know what I mean? So they're ranked 10th in the 13-team MAC in terms of total defense, which is a step up from last year when they were dead last. So I guess you can say they've improved. They lost to Kent last week, 45-43, as a 2.5-point road favorite, despite their quarterback, Keith Wenning, throwing 5 touchdown passes and having a career-high day with 446 yards. I mean, the guy's had a very good season so far, completing 64% of his passes for over 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns in 4 games. You know, what can I tell you? I mean, you know, Northern Illinois, they lost their opener to Iowa, 18-17. Since then, they've won 4 straight games. They've averaged 40.2 points a game in that 4-game stretch. They're coming off a big revenge game at home against Central Michigan, beating up the Chippewas. Don't you just like saying the Chippewas? 55-24 in that contest. Listen, I know Ball State has covered 9 of their last 11. I know the Huskies are 1-4 against the spread their last 5 on the road, but I think this is a cheap price in what's going to be an offensive shootout, and I think Northern Illinois is the better balanced team because they can run the ball as well, and they're slightly better defensively. If you can say either team that gives up like 35 points a game, one has an edge defensively, I say it's Northern Illinois. So that's your final free pick, Northern Illinois along with Miami of Ohio. And I'm telling you, it'll be another 20 years until I give you 2 free picks involving Mid-American Conference teams in my lifetime. And also Texas A&M as your final freebie. That'll do it, guys. Best of luck to you all, and I'll catch you again on Sunday. Remember, check it out. Free Fantasy Football League contest, $300, first place at stake in this one, $500 in total prizes, top 5 finishing the money. Click on the ads here in conjunction with DraftStreet.com. Good luck. Catch you again tomorrow.